Radiohead's combined reissue of their Kid A and Amnesiac albums, titled Kid A MNESIA, came out earlier this month. And here are my thoughts on it after I first listened to it. By it, I mean the third disc with the new stuff, because the first two discs literally just Kid A and Amnesiac. Apparently not even remastered editions. I think they just wanted an opportunity to put it on vinyl for the first time or something.
If we ever do anything like this for like Kid A, for example, there's so much material, because we spent so much time and we did so much recording.
Well, what have we got in terms of new content on this reissue? 12 tracks, 3 of which are goddamn interludes, and one of them's another version of Morning Bell. Pretty sure those interludes wouldn't have even been made during the original Kid A Amnesiac sessions. Just sounds like it's a bunch of different stems from the album combined into something a little bit different. So I don't think they would have been doing that during the original sessions. However, when you listen to the whole disc, I feel like it does bring a little bit of continuity and flow to the whole thing. Like they're trying to package it as a proper album rather than just a collection of throwaways that didn't make the two albums, So I can at least respect them for trying to create a unique experience with this third disc. You have a new version of Like Spinning Plates, which is sort of like a combination of the way that Tom York performs it live with just his voice and piano, and the Amnesiac version with spooky synths, and I think the reversed elements are largely missing in this one, or at least certainly not at the forefront. This one wasn't really going to have any chance of living up to the official version of Like Spinning Plates for me, because that is in contention for my favourite Radiohead song ever, definitely. Absolutely top 5, maybe even top 3. This new version, still pretty nice. And after Untitled number 1, there is a new version of Fog called Again Again, because the second version of Fog that was released was Fog Again, which was just Tom on vocals and piano. From what I remember, this third version is not too far from the original, but I think it had much more prominent synthesizers. Those synthesizers kind of reminded me of one of the other Amnesiac B-sides, Worry Wart, where the synths kind of sound like something out of IDM, except definitely not as all over the place, just a bit more complementary to the main melody. I'm happy that this song has multiple versions released now, because it's a very unsung song in the Radiohead canon. Then there's If You Say the Word, which was the first song promoted from this new reissue, and I believe it's the only song out of these rarities that hasn't even been recorded in some form, even as like a bootleg. So far, I don't recall too much about the song. I think it's felt just like a mid-tier Radiohead song. Dependable, but not immediately mind-blowing, I doubt my evaluation is going to change there, but I'll certainly be happy to keep listening to it, because it sounded good enough so far. Then next up on the disc is Follow Me Around, a song which has existed since the OK Computer era, but I hadn't really heard much of this song at all prior to hearing it on this new reissue. So I didn't really have quite as much of the anticipation as a lot of other Radiohead fans would have had going into this, but I was still certainly hoping that it'd rival something like Lift in terms of Radiohead songs that didn't get an official release for a decade or two and have been really sung up by fans. And this recording is essentially just an acoustic guitar tuned at a drop D, and Tom's voice with some weird robotic kind of vocoders doing harmonies behind his voice. And, it's just got some basic verses and a chorus and a little wordless bridge. Yeah, it hasn't really grabbed me all that much. It just kind of exists, So far I've found the music video with the drone chasing Guy Pearce more interesting than the song itself. Then there's the clitory clanging instrumental of Pulk Pull Revolving Doors with the vocal line of the song True Love Waits over the top of it, which is apparently what the instrumental of Pulk Pull was originally made for during the sessions, but then they held off, and then he just decided to do some dumb vocoder shit about doors. I've seen one or two people commenting online that it feels a bit jarring putting the True Love Waits vocal over this instrumental, and I can definitely see where they're coming from, but I think there's still enough on here that helps the two elements combine a bit without being out of place. So it's probably the first time that I've heard the Pulk Pull instrumental in a context that is actually interesting to me. So yeah, I certainly value this as one of the songs from the vault on this. But I think that's when this disc starts to lose a bit of steam, because then there's another untitled track. Then there's the In the Dark version of The Morning Bell, not Morning Bell, it's The Morning Bell now. And, you know, it's pretty much what you expect. It's Morning Bell. What more can you say, right? Then it's followed by Pyramid Strings, which I think has some of the sounds that you hear at the end of the song before it transitions into Pull Revolving Doors. Otherwise, it's very hard to really identify it as something that relates to Pyramid Song in any way. Plus, it's only 1 minute and 18 seconds long. Not really worth my time. Then there's Alt Fast Track. Fast Track being another B-side from the Amnesiac era. And like Pyramid Strings, this one also seems to bear not that much resemblance to the original song, apart from the same drum rhythm. It's basically just a drum rhythm for a minute or so, and then it goes into a new untitled track. So again, I'm not really sure what the point of that one was. And then the last track, How to Disappear into Strings, which unlike Pyramid Strings is quite literally just the isolated string section from How to Disappear completely, which is also one of my all-time favorite Radiohead songs, and naturally, even just the string parts alone are gorgeous to listen to. So is disc 3 of Kid Amnesia good? Yeah, I guess. Would I pay money for the whole thing just to hear that disc? Fuck no. I give it a first listen rating of about 6.5 out of 10. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention, it also does come with 5 extra tracks from the Amnesiac era, specifically the B-sides, which includes absolute rippers like Cut Tooth, The Amazing Sounds of Orgy, and probably one of the greatest songs of all time, Transatlantic Drawl, but you can only hear it on a fucking cassette! Yeah, this whole reissue is just a bloody mess.